What's going on, everybody? Welcome to LightSaber Radio, your one-stop shop for all the Star Wars entertainment you need for the week. I'm lying. There's a lot of other shit that you could do.
real.
It's a fun place to come.
We're here.
Sorry about Wednesday. Everybody had stuff going on, and it was just a miscommunication. All kind of weird shit happened. But we're here now, so that's all that matters. We're back. We're ready to go. And we are going to be talking about some controversial topics and some rumors that are being spread around the universe of Star Wars, some stuff that's been going on, some facts and some rumors. But before we get to all that, let's jump into the intro.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now if you only knew the power of darkness.
Here it comes. Let's go.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
So what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Is everybody doing good?
No, I'm
CJ,
tired.
since you're everybody. No, I'm talking about
tired.
everybody in the chat as well, so.
I
Go
am
ahead.
beyond exhausted. So,
You're beyond exhausted.
yeah.
Turn up your mic a little bit. Can everybody hear CJ's mic?
How about now?
Yeah, you're a little bit better now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. So, and there's been a lot of stuff going on. So I want to get this out of the way first and foremost. Disney is not selling Star Wars. I've talked to some people within the franchise. Disney is not selling it. It's a rumor. Who knows who started this rumor? You know, a lot of people think that Disney is going to start selling or trying to sell Star Wars, but it is a rumor. It is not. Now, there is something that we're going to be talking about in this episode that we kind of all predicted, I think, at the beginning of it, and that was they are closing the fucking hotel. They're closing the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser Hotel. That is factual. They're closing that shit down. Anybody that is, and we all kind of knew it. They were charging too fucking much. You
Oh
know,
man, no! I'm sitting there. I saw the post, and I was like, I don't think they're even. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're closing it down for good. I'm gonna throw this out there with you. I don't think they're closing it down for good. I think Bob Iger's gonna get his hands on it. It's gonna, instead of it being 2 days, 2 nights, it's gonna be a week experience. I think they're gonna expand it. I think they're gonna expand the rooms out. I think it's gonna get a whole revamp. Because there's parts of the ship we cannot access, and he's going to play off that. And he's going to try, I think he's going to try and revamp it and sell it for cheaper. Because I would pay $2,000 for 5 days. Because I pay $2,000 for 5 days to go to Disney. So I would take that. I would take that deal to stay $2,000 in a Disney Star Wars hotel where I can eat, be dined, meet characters, all this stuff. And I think that's what Bob Iger's going to do. I think he's closing it down so people can be like, oh no, we never got to go, yada, yada, yada. And then he's going to pull the wool off and be like, hey, look, I did something fancy for you guys.
That's a possibility, but I don't think it's going
Damn
to be
it.
Bob Iger that does it. Bob Iger is the one that pulled the plug on the project. He said that Disney would be willing to make $1 billion sacrifice on the project. He's the one that pulled the plug because he said they're not making no money off of it. It was a waste of fucking time and money. So and Bob is getting rid of everything that's not making them money. So, which that's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. Before we continue, what's going on, Creamy Peach? Chris, what's going on? Dr. Corey, what's going on? But yeah, Bob's the one that's pulling the plug on everything. I mean, and there's a lot of stuff going on within Disney that's just, Disney is kind of just like making some freaking and plus, they're dealing with what was it, $1 billion, and they just withdrew $1 billion from the new expansion of Disney World because of all the politics going on in Florida. Disney's not folding. The senator out there, or congressman, or whoever the fuck he is, he's not folding. That it's just, I don't know. I think there's a lot of corruption going on, at least from the people that I'm talking to that work within Lucasfilms. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that is just, that's the reason Bob came back, because there was a lot of missing money. There was just a whole bunch of shit just going on that's just making Disney just look bad. It's just making Disney overall as a company. I mean, they're pulling 50 episodes off of Disney Plus and Hulu, or 50 shows. I mean, and right now, without no movies coming out, not no big movie where we got Wasp and Ant-Man, and then we have a couple other Disney projects that are coming out, but they're not putting out the movies like they were. They had all their money invested in the streaming service, and then the streaming service is not doing where it needs to be doing, what they expected it to do. Which is not a bad thing, because now they can come in and make better content. You put out crappy content, then that's what you get. People ain't gonna watch that shit.
It's not even that. It's the fact that when Disney Plus was announced, it was promised to us that all of the Disney classics, all of them, they would all be in one spot. If you didn't have them, they would all be there. And I cannot tell you how many times I have been in the mood to watch a Disney movie that, I just got my VHS player out of storage, my VCR out of storage. So I didn't have these movies on disc. I had them on VCR, or VHS. So
You're old.
Leave me alone. You're older than I am. Does that make you ancient?
Yeah, I'm ancient.
He's a relic.
He's a relic.
Put some respect on Kyle's name. He's a goddamn relic.
He needs to be in a museum.
He needs to be in a glass case and displayed. This is what America used to be. And then we need to take a kid around like 15 right now that's all fucking emotionally damaged and all the fun shit, and put him in a glass and just see the meltdown, because Kyle's just gonna stand there and laugh.
Wears JAMA pants everywhere.
Kyle's just gonna turn and look at him and be like, pussy.
No, so the whole thing, it's not that we're mad because your content's crap. That's not just it. That's a small portion of it. But what we're mainly mad about is that we were promised this amazing streaming service that had all of the classics, all of them on there. And it's a hit or miss whether you can find a classic Disney movie on Disney Plus.
Well,
I'm gonna tag team with you on that. What makes me mad is that you're bringing in shows from other countries and you're monetizing certain episodes because you don't think it's correct for American audience, but the rest of the world doesn't give a shit. And I think that's where, we have to go to YouTube to find certain episodes
of Bluey,
of a kids show, a fucking kids show.
Well,
because you're being sensitive about it. Stop being woke. Give us everything you promised, and I promise you, your revenue will turn around.
Well, and this is the thing. I was reading an article that was written by who was it? Lacey. I can't remember her last name, but she's one of the spokesmen for Disney, and she said that it was never promised that everything would be on the platform all at one time. It was only promised that everything would be on the platform at a time. So you can only put a certain amount of shit, even like Netflix and them, they can only put a certain amount of shit without going over their limit of what you can put on a streaming platform. So they kind of have
get
to
rid of the shit that doesn't be watched.
And then they have to take stuff off. They can't.
There's no
broadband server that could put everything on it. It's just, it's impossible.
No, so what Disney Plus was supposed to be was, we were promised that. It wasn't a streaming service where they were going to come out with brand new shows, and instead of putting them on Disney Channel, they were going to put them on Disney Plus. It was, this is where you are finding all of your classic Disney.
And you will.
And that
at a
is
certain
that is
time.
solely what Disney Plus, when it first was announced, was told to us was this
No, what
is
was the exact
for your
wording,
classic
the way
fans.
she worded it, the exact wording was everything would be on the platform. Not all at one time. It was never stated at one time. That's impossible. You couldn't do that. There's not a server on the planet that could hold all that
But instead of giving us, so what?
so it
Instead
was
of finding a
also- it was-
solution,
so what they're
which
doing is
I mean,
like
if you turn
think
around
about it,
and you look
every
at the
month-
solution,
Hang on.
every month new stuff is put on and stuff is taken off. And I mean, you got to figure, fuck, goddamn, there's so many fucking old Disney shit. There's fucking 27 different fucking Mickey Mouse, the fucking shit, just the Mickey Mouse fucking cartoons. There's like fucking 27 movies of that shit.
but at the
So-
same time, like piggyback, like to fix that issue, you look at the views on each show, and the lowest rated show, take it off.
Well, then that would be Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett is the lowest rated show on Disney Plus.
No, Miss Marvel was the lowest rated show. There's
No,
numerous shows.
Book of Boba Fett was under Miss Marvel. It was Miss Marvel was like number 19, and Book of Boba Fett was number 20 on viewership on the platform. So
I think the things that aren't being watched need to be removed. Obviously, if Disney was smart, they'd turn around and sell it on disc. If people wanted that bad, go put it in Walmart. Make it cheap. Don't make it $50 to buy a fucking season.
And I promise
dude,
you,
I seen a fucking Funko Pop, man. I can't even remember who it was. It was a Star Wars Funko Pop. That shit was $60 fucking at Walmart. I said, what
Yep.
the fuck? Does this motherfucker, is it gonna give me some head? Shit, Jesus, for
and I
$60.
promise you, Disney, what we don't want is the disc version of a remastered. We want the disc version of the original.
That's what I'm saying. What's that one Disney? Was it that the fucking one where Mickey Mouse is the sorcerer's apprentice or whatever?
It's
Literally, you just said the name.
so Mickey
like
as
27
the
of
Sorcerer's
them
Apprentice
motherfuckers.
came out. He actually came out in Phantasma.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Fantasia
you have
or
Phantasma, and then they made a sub series, or not a sub series, a sub story within Fantasia. Fantasia, that's what it was. Fantasia. So
I have Darth Revan Funko Pop. I got it in a
better
box
hold
that I
on to
spent
that.
$20
yeah,
on.
we have two of them.
Yeah, I have two of them.
Damn, fucking $80.
Noted. eBay high.
Oh, and I found his hand.
That's good.
His hand was
His hand with his lightsaber fell
No,
off.
so his hand is like it pops out. Okay, his hand pops out, just his hand. I'm still learning about like the past Sith Lords. I'm starting at the like current, and I work my way back. That's how I do that. So I haven't got to Darth Revan, so I don't know if he loses a hand Luke and Anakin style or not. But his hand literally just pops off, and then you pop it back
Just a
in.
manufacturer defect, because I don't ever remember Revan losing a hand in the book.
Well, that's both of them. Both of them that we have, the hand pops off, and then my buddy has one, and his pops off too, and they were from different batches, so I don't know. Also,
Maybe it's
Kyle, can you
because so
turn your mic up a little
get
bit?
another lightsaber in his hand, so he can have dual lightsabers, so he can go
he's fine.
become Darth Revan or something.
Maybe.
Chris says just another reason that shows people that don't like sequels because the cost. Imagine in the hotel theme is fucking crazy. Yep.
Especially for just 2 days, like 2.5 days. Like
2 days, 2 nights.
Then Chris says, I guarantee HBO has more
2 days, 2
content on their platform compared to Disney, so Disney should have no problem adding everything. I mean, not everything. Every Star Wars product that has ever, I mean, not Star Wars, but every Disney product that ever came out, holy fuck, that's a lot of shit. Disney been coming out with shit for like 70 years, 80 years.
But HBO has Game of Thrones. It has everything DC you can think of. Arrow, Flash, Black Lightning, all of it. It has all those shows. It has all the animated Batman movies, all the seasons of Batman, the animated series, on top of Justice League Unlimited, The Flash, all this shit. So if HBO can do it,
both Justice Leagues, the
Maybe
original and then
HBO
the
spend
Zack
more money for
Snyder.
a bigger broadband server than Disney.
well,
did.
Disney, stop being fucking cheap.
Disney has the
Well,
money
shit,
to
Disney
do it.
gotta be cheap, man. They're fucking losing out on money every fucking where. They spent all this. They're spending all this damn money, and then they're not gaining their revenue. Their stock is down extremely.
Because
It is
they
down
thought
like a
they
motherfucker.
dead ass thought that they could make a Star Cruiser for $6,000 and spend 2 nights. Motherfucker, I want 2 weeks. I'll pay $6,000 for 2 weeks. Not 2 days. You're high as a kite
it's
thinking
just-
I've dropped $6K
Disney's-
on 2.5 days.
Disney stock is just fucking falling, and it's not even like, because it's crazy because they have, Disney has their own stock, then they have the Lucasfilm stock, then they have the Marvel stock, then they have the overall combined stock, and Disney stock by itself is down. Star Wars stock hasn't really dropped that much. Marvel stock hasn't dropped that much, but overall combined it's dropped because Disney overall stock has dropped. So, like, yeah, if anybody's into the stock market, you might want to jump in on Disney because once it goes back up, you're gonna make a shit ton of money.
It has dropped 2.41 points.
Yeah, and that's
It
a
is
lot.
currently,
in the stock
you can buy stock in Walt Disney Company right now for $91.35.
Which is the cheapest I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I know I bought some. It was cheaper than that. It was $80 the other day.
The
going
highest
up.
that it has been within the past year was $113.21 in order to buy stock.
But it's
in
going to go
Disney.
back up Disney's too big of a powerhouse for it not to go back up. So we know it's going to go back up. The problem is just what are they going to do to get it back up? And then it don't help that you get rumors, because rumors hurt stock. A lot of people don't know that when you start spreading rumors that Disney's selling fucking Star Wars or Lucasfilms, the fucking stock drops. But then you have the shit that's the truth, like they're closing down Star Cruiser. It was like fucking $5 million or whatever it was, $50 million project, and they didn't make shit on their money back on their thing, so they're closing that down. Then you got, the
We'll
streaming
drop our
services.
podcast team leader. He's at a Comic-Con right now.
There, then you got, the 50 shows that they're taking on. They just did Willow, and I enjoyed Willow. I didn't think Willow was that bad. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I wanted it to be more like do that shit, anamorphic lenses type shit, back in the day. Make it look like old Willow, But it wasn't a bad story. I liked the story overall. They continued it, and it made sense. So, but they're taking Willow off. Like, dude, what the hell? You just made Willow. I can understand you taking off Miss Marvel or Book of Boba Fett or something like that just isn't getting a high thing. But I thought Willow did pretty good. I thought it was good, but, that's just my personal opinion. A lot of people might not like that. I don't even remember seeing it on the chart. So it's probably sucked enough that didn't even make the chart. But it's just, and they're taking off a lot of stuff. And then now we have this stupid ass fucking, and I'm not going to say it's stupid because you should get paid for what you do. And these writers are working constantly. They're not just doing Star Wars. They're doing Star Wars, then they're doing Marvel, then they're doing this, and they're doing this project for this other company, and they're doing all. So pay them their money. They deserve their money.
Especially because, and I actually had to explain what the whole writer strike was to somebody the other day, because they're like, are they seriously not getting paid? And I said, so the issue that's happening right now is when you didn't have streaming service being as big as it was, and there was 50 million of them, and TV shows were coming out on the streaming service exclusive to the streaming service, writers that would do an episode, they would get paid for the episode when it aired, and then every single time it was there was a rerun on, they would get paid residuals from it. So they would be getting this constant paycheck that would justify being paid a little bit every time it aired, because it would air 40 times in 2 weeks, and they
Look
would
how many times
they
shit
would
airs, like,
make up for that.
The Golden Girls is still on.
Yes, and that's part of that thing. But you get shows
Your
that are
royalties.
exclusively, you get shows that are exclusively to Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, all of that, where it's not an every week there's a new episode type thing. It's just here's the whole season. They don't get paid the residual off of that. They only get paid for the release and the watches from that release date. So they're not getting their full check. So they're wanting to fix that. And that's what the whole writers strike right now is about, is saying, no, I did this. I deserve my money that you promised me. But now, since things have changed, we now have to we now have to relook and reassess the way you are paying me because you are not paying me enough. You're still paying me per episode, and there's no reruns.
So basically, when a writer writes a movie, every time that movie is played at the movie theater, they get paid for it. When it goes to DVD, they get a royalty off of that. When it goes to when it's showed on TV, they get a royalty after that. Same thing with sitcoms. If you write a sitcom or a series or something like that, every time it's aired, you get a residual, you get your royalties off of that. With streaming services, and this is a big problem, and this is something I was reading about, is that they're having a hard time. These companies are not telling the honest truth about how many views they're getting. And they're trying to get around because they don't want to pay out the royalties. Because every time somebody clicks on it, then the writer would get a percentage or get, like, whatever it is, 0.4% or whatever they get. But the companies are trying because they own the streaming service. So they're telling difference than what they're saying. They're reporting differently than what they're saying, which is supposed to be against the law. That's what the writers are complaining about. They're like, wait a minute, you going to tell me they only 300 people only watched this fucking episode? That was it? That's bullshit. Then they go to the actual then they're going on to, like, the
analytics of it.
I can't remember the name of the company that does the big thing. And they're saying that this episode had 4 million watches on it, and they only got paid for 300 episodes. So they're like, this is bullshit, and that they want to renegotiate. And all the platforms, it's not just Disney, it's HBO, Netflix. And then there's also, before, you only had several companies that were making sitcoms and series and stuff like that, Sundance and stuff like that, CBS. Now there's just too many to even keep count of. There's so many streaming services. So it's hard for the writers to keep up with each one of their projects. So they want to streamline the overall, how they get paid. If you're not going to pay us royalties, then we need a larger lump sum for writing these things. Because most of the time, a writer will get, maybe probably $100,000 for the previous write, and then they'll get, their royalties, which is probably 0.3, 0.4%. And that just brings in, and then the more the stuff they write, the more stuff, of course, the more money they make, and then they get that one large lump sum. Now they're trying to get more of a lump sum because they're not getting their royalties.
And unfortunately, this isn't just this is an issue that has gone across several different jobs, music industry, acting, all of it. Because Hobson even wrote a song about how he started, like, he had a song about how he's going after his producer, the record label, because the brother of the record label owner actually started it with Hobson. The brother died. His brother took over and started lying about how much they were making at shows. And they were not giving the artists, he wasn't giving the artists their actual money because he was lying about how they did in sales.
Well,
so,
NWA was the prime example of that too.
NWA. You have Taylor Swift with her music. Miley Cyrus, all of that. It goes to more than just writing.
Well,
writing is just the thing that is happening now. That is big out there, everybody's talking about.
And it's not just the Writers Guild. It is the Actors Guild too.
They're standing with them.
They're most of the actors right now are outside protesting with the Writers Guild. Half of Disney's writers are outside protesting.
You also have Seth MacFarlane. You have Seth MacFarlane who has said, I'm not making, I write Family Guy episodes with my crew. I am part of the writers. Until the writers get what they need and deserve, I'm not even doing any more Family Guy or American Dad. I'm not doing my show. And they're one of those two shows are one of Fox's, biggest things right now. Because they've gone for many years. It's like The Simpsons, gone for many years. There's a fan base.
Tony Gilroy is another one.
All of that.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Gilroy. They're even Seth MacFarlane's like, I'm not doing any more Family Guy. There's no more Family Guy. There's no more American Dad until this is resolved. You have Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was out protesting with them when it happened years and years ago. And he's back out there with them protesting. Mandy Patinkin, whatever, Inigo Montoya, and he was in Criminal Minds. He is out there protesting with them. Carrie Fisher was out there when it happened years and years ago. You have all of these big names who are like, no, you're fucking up.
Well, I would contest that if they was writing better Star Wars content. I'd probably be like, yay! But it's like you writing crappy content. I don't think you should make any more money.
But at the same time, though, the writers can only do what they're essentially told to
too.
by the bigger people. They can write this awesome episode. They can write this kick-ass episode that they know everybody would love. They have the best producer to make the music and do the score, and they have it, and it is a 10 out of 10 episode. It can make billions of dollars, but it is not what the big wig want for that show, and they could be like, nope, fix it, do it shittier. And the writers unfortunately have to do that because at the end of the day, that is their payday. That's why I don't really blame the writers a whole lot when it's a crappy episode that comes out. Like, yeah, that was written kind of shitty.
There's a lot of
I
different
wonder
people
what's
that
happening
play
behind
into
the
that.
scenes.
It's a combined effort of a lot of people to create crappy episodes. So right now, the Star Wars shows that are facing delays is Andor Season 2, which I could have swore that fucking Tony Gilroy said he already had it finished fucking writing it.
He did, but
He did. He's just not
he's
going to
holding
put
on to
people
it.
on. He's not going to get a camera on it until he gets
Yeah.
the
I
screen
thought they
actors
were
go.
already filming it.
No, he went at Celebration. He had stated that he had finished writing and that he was in the process of getting the scenes and everything set to start filming.
Mandalorian Season 4 is on the back burner now because of the writers thing. Bad Batch Season 3 and Tales of the Jedi. And Star Wars Vision Season 3. Is all of the stuff that they know of. Right now, the shows that were able to avoid the delay is Skeleton Crew and Ahsoka because they're already done. And the Acolyte is already it's already been written. So
So I looked it up. Walt Disney, their stock is down 2.75%. Netflix is down 1.6%. Let's see. I have to go back to it. Warner Bros. Come on.
I just think they need to pay him. I think they need to make it transparent. And
well, I think the transparency should be better, and I think you should get paid more if you're not going to pay me royalties.
Oh, yeah.
See, my cousin wrote a gang of songs. Like, my cousin is a country songwriter, and for years he wrote. I mean, shit, my cousin's wasn't in his shit. He's almost 70 now, and he wrote a gang of fucking things. And back in the day, you had a choice. So most artists or the companies would say, we'll give you a lump sum of money or we'll give you royalties. Well, my dumbass cousin, I'm not going to call him a dumbass. He didn't know any better, but he basically took the lump sum of money because when they offer you $75,000, $100,000 for a fucking song, you take that shit. Not knowing that some of the songs that he wrote fucking are like huge. They're fucking some of the biggest country songs ever made. And if he'd have took the royalties, even at 0.1%, he'd be a fucking millionaire right now. But they didn't know. And I think that's what they play off of. They play off of these royalty things. But then if you're not giving me royalties on it because it's on your streaming platform, you know what I'm saying? It's not like sitcoms that a sitcom was created and then a company picked up that sitcom, like CBS or NBC or whatever. They picked it up. It was done by a whole different company, and they picked up that thing, but it was created by that other company. So they could track royalties because it got played on TV, and they could track it. Now it's so hard to keep track of it. If you're not going to pay these guys royalties, pay them a large sum of money for doing it. You know, you do an episode, you get fucking $500,000 for that episode. They're gonna make fucking $2 million off of an episode. You can't get to do $500,000 or what, whatever the benefit. I don't know how it works exactly when it comes to how much money each person should get paid. But you know what I'm saying? You think about it. Like literally, Golden Girls still comes on like 5 channels.
I fuck with Golden Girls.
That shit been playing since I was fucking little. I was a little kid, and I'm 45 years old. I remember my mom watching it. So if it's, the writers of that are making money forever off of that. It's just like, and that's another thing that the music is going through now is because a lot of people, they're not getting paid royalties because everything's going out straight online. Goes to Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever. People are releasing whole albums and putting them out directly online. They're not even going through a company no more, and that's a smart way to do it.
Well,
but the problem is, you still need a company to get to do concerts. You still need a promoter. You still need all these people to do concerts and stuff like that. And a lot of people are having a problem because they're signing with companies because they need that promotion. They need that company to get them, to get them tours and stuff like that. And then they're dropping their music, and then people don't buy their music. They're getting paid a lump sum of money to drop it on SoundCloud or to do whatever, however they're doing it now. And the people aren't getting paid because the music guild was in a big thing a couple years back about this. So I don't know how they figured it out, but I'm pretty sure that I know that it's not going to be too long because people need content.
Well, you look at, recently there was the whole Tommy Vext thing with the Bad Wolves. Bad Wolves kicked Tommy. Tell him.
No, I want to hear it.
Okay. Bad Wolves kicked Tommy
He's
Vext.
my favorite musician. Sorry,
Tommy Vext went sober. Was like, hey, everybody, we need to be sober together. Yeah. That's what you told me.
No.
Whatever. They ended up kicking Tommy Vext out of his own band.
It was over a political argument.
Okay. Well, Tommy Vext wrote all of the songs for Bad Wolves. So he's like, hey, fuck you. You don't get to use my songs then. Bad Wolves and Tommy Vext ended up going to court over it. They couldn't release, or Tommy Vext couldn't release anything. Bad Wolves couldn't really play the Tommy Vext songs. They had to make new ones while all of this was going on. Tommy Vext turns around and gets on OnlyFans. And what was the other one?
OnlyFans and Patreons, and starts doing cover songs. And in the process of doing cover songs, he was making money off of this. And Bad Wolf's lawyer came after them and was like, hey, you can't do that. And he's like, well, technically it's not my music, and these fans are not subscribing to my music. They're subscribing to my content because I'm shirtless, and technically I'm providing a service to young women and older women. And he blew up the argument.
And he wasn't writing any new songs, and that was part of it, was he couldn't write new songs and promote them, and he couldn't use the old songs. So he started doing covers. That's how he essentially won that, and now, he can do his songs again. And Bad Wolves can't without paying him a shit ton of money.
Yeah, so the deal was with that, I'm sorry, I hate to interject,
You're good,
but
go.
The reason why they split, I'm going to reiterate that, the reason why they split is because Tommy came out when BLM came out. Tommy Vext is a black man from Brooklyn. Came out and did the highlighter video stating how the major news companies, yada, 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 are involved in all this. Band didn't like it, label didn't like it, label owner called him the N-word and then he's worthless and he needs to keep his mouth shut. He said, nope, screw you, I'm taking the band, I'm leaving. The band didn't want to leave. So the band stayed, got a new singer. Well, he was like, well, if you're going to do that, I want my music. I own the music. You guys didn't even write the music with me. My band now, which is Lone Wolf, wrote the music with me in the booth. You guys are just stand-ins for what they actually did. Went to court over it, and he says, if you guys want to keep the name, keep the name. Cool, keep the name. You want to play my songs? You're going to pay me, I think it was like a 60-40 split. Every time my song is played in a concert, every time my song is played on the radio, every time my song is played on Spotify, Apple Music, all these things, it is a 60-40 split. I get 60, you get 40. And it went in his favor in the courtroom. And I think that's a big thing with the Screenwriters Guild and all these things is 60-40. Even at 60-40, if you give a 60% shot to the writers and a 40% shot, you're still going to profit because 60% of the payout, cool, you're getting a couple $1,000s a week. $10,000 a week, on top of Disney making thousands, millions of dollars off their streaming service, off the products, off the merchandise in the parks, the merchandise in the stores. Disney makes so much more money than these writers. If they did a 60-40, Disney stock would go up due to the fact that they're going to want to make more content. They're going to push more content. No, but I'm just saying, like, in turn, it would be smart.
Most artists, like, on a label, the highest paid artist is only maybe making 4%. Most of them don't even make a whole percent. They make a 0.%.
And that's what's changing in the music industry now, and that's where Tommy Vext,
music industry,
Jelly Roll, all these new artists are coming out, and they're like, no, I'm writing my contract. You don't get to write it. You want me as an artist? I will drop the contract, and you can accept it.
The only reason that they're dealing with because most of the labels have shut down. Mm-hmm. The labels that are open now, they're basically there as promoters. They're the ones that are setting up like the fucking concerts and shit like that, because it's too hard for a band person to be able to do that, or a rapper or whatever. It's just too much going there. So they're signing contracts for promotion rights. Music, you don't even have to do that. You can put your music out on SoundCloud and make millions of dollars off the downloads.
SoundCloud's still a thing.
Go through a record label.
Sorry.
That and people are getting rich off of never even signing with a record label now. Mm-hmm. Just going through SoundCloud and stuff like that.
Russ did it.
Cody Johnson.
Russ, still to this day, he's very proud of the fact that I did it on my own. He did there's a few songs about it, but he did one singular song that he plays almost every single time he performs, and it was essentially, you guys didn't believe I could do this. I was dropping music every single day on SoundCloud, on YouTube, on everything. I was dropping new music. I put the work in. You guys didn't believe me. I built myself.
Well,
and that's where I truly believe, and I have believed it since I had to look into the whole thing with Screenwriting Guild,
Akari, Max Rebo owns his own royalties.
With the
yeah, he's dead.
With the Screenwriters Guild, with the Screenwriters Guild, with the Screen Actors Guild, all of that. I completely forgot where I was going with that.
Sorry. That was my fault. I just saw the Darth Akari came in with Max Rebo, but no, nope. Cody Johnson, he's one of my favorite country artists. He came in, and all these labels from Nashville, like, oh yeah, you can come join our label, but these are the stipulations. You don't get to dress like this. You don't get to talk about this. You don't get to sing about this. You don't get to wear
your hat on stage.
You can't sing about God. You don't get to have your cowboy hat. And he's like, no, fuck you. I can make it by myself. And he is the #1 country artist. And right behind him is Jelly Roll. And Jelly Roll did the same thing. Jelly Roll is a rapper from fucking Tennessee, Southside Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And made it, touring country. He turned around and he had labels begging for him. And he finally wrote a deal out, and he'd slap him in front of these labels. He's like, this is my terms. You can either take it or I'm going to keep doing me. And Broken Bow Records is a prime example of what the Screen Actors Guild needs to do, is write your own contract, find somebody that'll take it. If they don't want that contract, well, they can fuck off and they can go without writers.
Oh, okay. So I remember where I was going. Okay, so when I was back in high school, I was in drama club. I was running tech for this school for my church. I was the tech person. So within doing that, I had to do deep dive research into what the industry consists of and what is the norm, what is the abnorm, all of that, the science behind lighting and music and, all of that. And what big name companies, and even smaller ones, but not as much, but big name companies, Disney, Warner Brothers, all of that, they think that it's, oh, well, I'm head. If I'm not here, then everything's going to go to shit. No, you have your directors, you have your writers, you have your actors, you have your music composers, you have your editors. All of them play an equally important part. You're just the face. You Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy, yeah, cool. She is the face of Disney, essentially. She is...
What? Of Disney. Mickey Mouse is the face of Disney.
I meant like in the... I meant in like the actual reality aspect of it. Like, you think Disney, yes, you think Walt Disney, you think Mickey Mouse. But if you look at it from a business standpoint, Kathleen Kennedy is it. And Kathleen Kennedy is essentially, she's running Disney.
She's
or
running
Lucasfilms.
And she's not even, like, if you would think of
Well,
Lucasfilm,
yeah,
you
like,
think
but
of
one of our
John
favorite
Favreau or
voice
Dave Filoni
actors.
first,
Oh, sorry.
before
Yeah.
you would even think of Kathleen Kennedy.
But the faces and the big wigs are like, yes, this is my company, etc., etc., etc. But it's the same thing with like Walmart. They don't look at the smaller people that makes everything work. You see a clock, you see the face, you say, yes, that's a clock. You don't think about the small little gears and dials and notches and small little rods and timers that are built inside of it that make it the clock. If one of those was gone, the entire clock's not going to work. So
you just buy a new piece. Just
they're
hire a
all
new person. That's what these
That's what
companies
they
have been
do.
doing for the longest period of time.
But
They don't
And
they
they're
need
done with it.
but they
you,
don't.
You don't
but
understand. There's so many. This is where the hard part comes in. Because what you're saying is true. They don't give a fuck.
Everybody, and that's what this main argument is about right now, is the fact that the bigwigs are like, oh yeah, you just write them. Okay, cool. Well, the writers are like, dude, without us, you don't have fucking episodes. You don't have movies. You can go write your own.
You
but
have
it's
actors
not
that are
going,
striking with the writers. You
Yeah.
don't have actors now.
like you don't
But
have
see, this is
you.
the thing.
It's like you break or you
This is
fracture
where-
one
this is
part
where
of your
it always-
body.
this is
The rest
where-
of your body's gonna hurt.
This is when the companies always prevail. And this is how they do it. Because there's so many striving artists out there that are trying to get into the industry that they will come in. They will cross the fucking picket line. They don't give a shit because they get to be a part of Disney. They get to be a part of fucking HBO. They get to be a part of, whatever the companies is, and they're striving, they're hurting because they're not making shit right now. You got new actors that are fucking been putting in, they're going to auditions, 2-3 auditions a day, and they're not getting any parts.
Oh, more than that.
That's the company, that's the people that end up fucking it around for everybody else because they're going to go do it. Because I'm telling you right now, as somebody that writes stuff, if Disney came to me right now and said, come work for us and write some shit for us, I would fuck all the Writers Guild, all that shit, I'm going. Because it's
But
a
that's-
chance for me to go
Fuck you
fucking
guys.
work.
I'm going.
But
I'm
that's
going. And that's the
where-
problem. That's where the major corporations always win because they're striving artists. They're just thirsty people out there that want to get in on any company because that's going to go on their resume.
And if you look at companies, especially now, there's companies that are raising the starting wage so that a person who is just now starting in a company is making more than somebody who's been there for 5 years,
I
2
know that. I
years,
see it
whatever.
every day.
Because their new hire budget is more than their existing hire budget.
Well-
So it is easier right now to quit a job and then turn around and reapply for the job to get the raise that you've been deserving for 5 years. Because and companies have admitted it, saying, yeah, we're very reluctant to give raises because of our budget. We have a budget set, and in order to bring new people in, because we're not paying enough, we have to bump up our pay, which means more people are going to leave because, hey, why is this 16-year-old who just started yesterday making double the amount that I am making after being in this industry for 15, 20 years, whatever.
And that's how the companies win. And that's how companies like Disney and stuff like that, there's so many actors that would love to be in a Disney film. So many writers that would love to write. So many directors, up-and-coming directors that are on YouTube and shit like that. They can just go to YouTube and find people that fucking are talented as shit. Bring them on.
And it's because they're desperate that they don't look at the fallout that's happening.
Because
so
you got to think a person that's making $25,000 a year at their job. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I get
they need that bump.
$200,000 to write one episode of fucking The Mandalorian? Shit, they're going to jump on that. And that's how these big corporations they've always won. Now,
And that's
And it's not going to change. It's not going to change anytime soon, and not until everybody gets on the same page. But it's going to be hard to get people on the same page when you got somebody that's fucking living paycheck to paycheck. It's going to be hard to get that. And I think that they'll come out with a good thing because basically they're just trying to redefine the pay scale for how things is getting paid because these writers is getting screwed over because of the streaming services. And I feel them on that. They should get paid more. If you're not going to give me royalties, then I need to get more upfront. You know what I'm saying? Which I would much rather get royalties because then you don't ever have to work again.
That's,
because you're getting, well, it just depends on what your royalties are.
Even artists.
You're getting,
like,
even if you take, so I still get royalties off of some of my voice acting stuff. It's not that much, but I still get royalties. And it's nice to know that little bit of extra money is coming regardless. Every month is coming. You know what I'm saying? I get that money every month. You know what I'm saying? I get a check every month for it. It's not that much, you know, it's not no fucking, I'm not getting no, you know, what like a rapper would get it because, you know, they still sold fucking 40,000 downloads on fucking thing at, you know, at $10 a fucking download or whatever, that $1 a download, and you getting, you know, 4% on that shit. That's still 4 cents on the dollar. You get 40, that's still $4,000 a month. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, I'm not getting nothing like that, but it's nice to know that it's coming. You know, every month I get the little royalties for the things that I do. But that's why more people are going to self-production. They're a better thing to do if you want the money. You write an episode, you take it to them, and you say, all right, here goes your episode. I want this amount of money for it. That would be the best way to go. But the problem is that a lot of people in something that I didn't ever do, I didn't ever join the Actors Guild or none of that shit because they dictate what you can and cannot do. And I didn't like that. I don't like anything that's like a union. I don't like that shit because that they just take your money and then, you know what I'm saying, they tell you what you can and cannot do, and I'm screw that. How you gonna tell me what I can and cannot do?
But at the same point, I definitely understand that point. But there are good aspects to a union where they do give you rights and they are there to back you up.
Well,
when you have an
you got a good
employer or
union.
whatever who is, yes, if you have a good union, but if you have an employer who's fucking you over, then that union is there to say no. It's this, like cops, police officers, they have their union and they get reprimanded, they get arrested, they get, you know, anything like that. They have a union rep say, hey, no. We have, like, the dues that you pay into this union is there in case something happens. We already have a lawyer for you. And
Same with the correctional guards.
Yeah, the same thing with correctional guards. Caitlin, my sister-in-law, her dad he actually just left the union and went back into the prison. But
he was a union rep.
Yeah, he was a union rep. He was the one that was doing the investigations and making sure that everything was okay because he knew from personal experience that everything inside the prisons for the COs was not okay. So he went over to the union side to make sure that all of the I's were getting dotted, all of the T's were getting crossed, and that the people were protected. And that is essentially what is happening is the people need to be protected for what they put out. They put out amazing stuff. You have your directors picketing with them, writers, obviously, you have the actors, you have the tech side of everything, the cameramen, the editors, they're all standing behind because all of them are like, no, if this was happening to us, you can go fuck yourself. And all of these major companies the picket line is essentially saying, hey, you fucked around, you're about to find out.
Well, and it'll go on. They'll either come up with a good resolution of it pretty quickly, or they'll start hiring new people, and then a lot of these actors will be screwed, and writers will be screwed because then they won't work with them.
I don't know how Disney is going to do that because D. Bradley Baker and James Arnold Taylor, Ashley Eckstein, all these major voice actors. You got the voice actor from Fairly Odd Parents. All these voice actors and all these actors.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But you got to remember one thing. All these people can be replaced.
Yeah, and you're not going to get the same views and you're going to lose money when they find out.
Well, I mean, but this
And
is
that's
the thing.
and I think that's where the
And it
problem's
could
going to
also
lie.
be a good thing because if say they hire better writers and the new writers come in and write great content, and everybody's like, "Holy shit, this is the best content I've ever seen," because it happens.
Except here's where I am a little bit weary
Because
of
I'm
this.
still gonna watch it because it's Star Wars.
Yes,
I don't give a
so-
shit who wrote it or who acts in it. As long as it's Star Wars and it's good, I'm gonna watch it because I'm a
Here's
Star
where-
Wars fan. I'm not a fan of the actors. I'm not a fan of who wrote the shit or who directed it. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of Star Wars. Now, I appreciate the actors and I appreciate the writers and I appreciate the people that are in there, but I'm gonna watch Star Wars regardless of who does it because it's Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan.
So here's where
I don't-
I'm a little bit weary of that is you have new people, Disney or, whoever, Lucasfilms, whatever, they get tired of waiting for and bargaining and, all of that. They get tired of it and they do start hiring new people. And you are going to get better content because now the bigwigs are going to say, hey, you know what? You came through. You write us an episode. And then slowly over time, there's going to be those limitations and those restrictions started to trickle back down to where, we can have an awesome kick-ass episode, movie, whatever. We can have that this month. And then next month, it's not going to be that great because that's how you slowly go back into that that abuse cycle.
It's the repetitive cycle that's going to keep happening. It's not going
Yeah.
to stop. I think that they'll come out with a thing because there's too many, like you have, not only you have people like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, which is basically your executive producers and writers and directors and everybody. But if you look at like the Disney shows that they're, let's just go through this right quick. So this is the Disney Plus shows that they're taking off of Disney Plus. So Big Shot, Turner and Hooch, The Mysterious Benedict Society, The Mighty Ducks Game Changers, Willow, The Making of Willow, Diary of the Future President, Just Beyond, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, Marvel Project Heroes, Marvel Empowers, Marvel Voices Rising, Rosaline, Cheaper by the Dozen remake, The One and Only Ivan, Stargirl, Artemis Fowl, The Princess, Encore, The Spark Story, Black Beauty, Clouds, America's the Beautiful, Better Nate Than Ever, Weird But True, Timmy Failure, BR Chef, Magic Camp, Howard, Earth to Ned, Foodtastic, Stuntman, Disney Fairy Tale Weddings, Wolfgang, It's a Dog's Life with Bill Farmer, The Real Right Stuff, The Big Fib, Rogue Trip, More Than Robots, Shop Class, Pick the Litter, Own the Room, Among the Stars, Harmonious, Pentronic, Around the World for Holidays. That's what they're taking off of Disney Plus. If you look through there ain't no Star Wars content. All that shit was other shit. There's no Star Wars content coming off. So hopefully that's because they're rebooting for more Star Wars content to come out. They're rebooting. They know that Star Wars is what's bringing in their money in the streaming service, so they're going to push for more Star Wars content, which I think is a good thing. Give us more half of them damn things I never even heard of. More than half. Like 80% I never even heard of that shit, because when I go to Disney Plus, I go to Star Wars. I don't give a shit about none of that. Well, I watched Willow, but that's just because, I grew up on Willow, so Willow, I wanted to see what Willow did, and I don't think it's just, Willow's cool. I liked Willow when I was young. And I wanted to see kind of how they gave like honors to Val Kilmer, because Val Kilmer was in the original Willow, so I wanted to kind of see how they gave him how they did his character, since he can't come back and act anymore. So I kind of wanted to see how they did his character, which I think they did a good job. But there's no Star Wars stuff in there. What is that? The Rogue Trip? That's not even really Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? So there's no Star Wars in there, and that's a great thing. I'm like, dude, that's really that's really good for us Star Wars fans. That's showing us that Star Wars is not being pushed to the side. And I think that that's definitely a good thing. Now Hulu, they got some other stuff. I don't even know what. I don't think I've ever watched any of that shit. But I know that they're revamping. Their stock is down. They're closing the Star Cruiser. There was $1 billion in the...
They're currently in a lawsuit with the entire state of Florida.
Yeah, in the state of Florida, and that's looking at. It was supposed to be a $1 billion expansion of Disney, and now they retracted the expansion that Florida was going to get because whoever that congressman is, I can't remember what his name was.
So here it is. Disney for decades controlled a special taxing district that had the right to make zoning decisions in and around Disney World. The state attempted to give state appointees control of the board, but the Disney-appointed board preempted the state by giving Disney control of the powers traditionally granted to the district for decades to come. DeSantis, who is then threatened to take further action against Disney, even suggesting the state might decide to build a state prison adjacent to the theme park. That prompted Disney's federal lawsuit and a countersuit by Florida. Bob Iger literally came out in a release and said, does Florida want more jobs and our taxes that are going to pay for all of this, or do they not? It's because, so on Wednesday's call, Iger defended Disney, saying that there are about 2,000 special districts like the one at the center of the dispute, designed to make it easier for us and others, by the way, to do business in Florida. We built a business that employs, as we've said before, over 75,000 people and attracts tens of million people to the state. If the goal is leveling the playing field, then a uniform application of the law or government oversight of special districts need to occur or be applied to all special districts. Our primary goal has always been to be able to continue to do exactly what we've been doing. We have a huge opportunity to continue to invest in Florida. I've noted that our plans were to invest $17 billion over the next 10 years, which is what the state should want us to do. We operate responsibly, we pay our fair share of taxes, we employ thousands of people there.
And they better watch out, because I was reading an article Friday that I guess Atlanta, Georgia, put in a bid for them to move Walt Disney World to Atlanta.
Yep.
A big ass bid. I can't remember. It was in the hundreds of billions of dollars to move. And they would give fucking Disney World, one of the things that really stuck out, they would give Disney World a tax. They wouldn't have to pay no taxes for any retail prices. Like, so anything that they sold in the park, they would not have to pay taxes on that shit. Which Florida's like that now. Florida and Texas, you don't have to pay taxes, retail taxes. So, but Atlanta said that they would do it just for them to move from Florida to Atlanta. Like, dude, that's that shit would blow Atlanta up. But then I'd be like, all right, man, that's just another place. If I was gonna move Disney World, I'd move to somewhere where they don't have no fucking hurricanes. You know what I'm saying? Just makes sense. No hurricanes, move there. No earthquakes, move there. Because everywhere the Disneyland and Disney World is at, there's freaking hurricanes and earthquakes, so it doesn't make a lot.
Well, at least you know the rides are built stable. They got to withstand hurricanes.
And earthquakes.
So the whole thing is Disney sued the state of Florida in federal court, charging that the state is illegally trying to punish the company for exercising its First Amendment's rights to oppose legislation backed by DeSantis and the Republican-controlled legislator in the state. The legislation at issue, passed last year, limited discussions of LGBTQ issues in Florida schools. The bill that opponents referred to as the Don't Say Gay law. And that's where that's because Disney has always been inclusive. It is always, so they're going to celebrate pride and the different pride, the different ethnicity pride days and culture pride days and all of that. And Florida is essentially saying, hey, go fuck yourself. We literally passed a bill saying that you cannot do that. And
I don't understand. I really don't understand DeSantis's thing, because DeSantis is supposed to be. Didn't he put out like a thing that he was gonna run for president? Like, you gonna run for president, but you're trying to fuck with Disneyland, Disney World, like the most wonderful place on the planet. Like, that doesn't make no sense, man. You're like an idiot. That's gonna really screw up your freaking chances for me. I wouldn't vote for your ass because you're messing with Walt Disney, and Walt Disney is the shit.
Well, not only that, but you're gonna fuck with the company that literally owns the channels and everything that the presidential election is aired on.
Like, he's not too smart, but Bob Iger, I was reading a post that Bob Iger, somebody said that he needed to stay out of politics, and I'm like, dude, Bob Iger, like, get beyond his beliefs and point of views and everything, because we know he went through that racial shit where a lot of people saying he was racist and he was transphobic and all that other shit. Get past all that, and you look at just what he's doing for Disney, and the reason that he had to come back. Because Disney was losing money, like they were just dumping millions of dollars in bullshit, and he had to come back and to try to fix all this shit. That just shows his character as a businessman. And I think that him being in politics when it comes to dealing with this whole DeSantis and Florida thing, he's gonna, like, they're either gonna do what Disney asked them to do, or Disney's gonna leave, and then Florida's gonna suck. Florida ain't gonna be.
Florida already sucks. Florida already sucks. There's nothing nice about Florida except for Disney World and Universal.
Hey,
that
hang
is
on
it.
a second. Hang on a second.
I've been to Florida.
Hang on a second.
Disney own Universal too?
Yeah.
Yes.
They own the property. They don't own Universal. They own the land that Universal is on. They don't own Universal, but they own the land that Universal is
So
on.
not only in Florida do you have Disney and Universal. Come on, we're overlooking Gatorland, okay? They have the best goddamn commercials I have ever fucking seen.
Dude, I was on TikTok the other day and they got that big ass python eating that crocodile was on there and it was like exploding out. I said, man, what the hell? I don't want to go to damn. They got freaking anacondas there. That's not a python. If a python can eat a crocodile, that's a fucking anaconda. That's a big ass snake. Like, I don't.
There's nothing nice about Florida. No offense to Florida. You have pretty beaches, but you also have a massive drug problem, a massive immigration problem, a massive law problem. Your governor's a fuck. The only thing you got nice there is Universal and Disney World. That's all you got going for you. And if you keep fucking around, we're going to take that, and then you're going to be nothing.
Have you ever watched that show, World Dumbest Criminals?
Yes, Florida is everywhere.
80% of them motherfuckers from Florida.
Oh my God.
God, these fucking people. I can't say too much. My little sister stays in Florida.
I just found this too on the DeSantis Bob Iger feud. So DeSantis is also trying to, part of the bill that he's passing is for the monorail to be inspected regularly by the DOT.
That should happen anyway, just because.
Yeah, that should be a thing either
That
way.
is, but
But the railroad company comes out and does that.
but he's trying to. It's.
He's just trying. He just nitpicking at this point.
He is, and
he's finding shit like, because they should be doing that shit anyway. I don't want to get on nothing that's gonna explode and crash, and especially on some shit that high off the ground. We seen what happened to fucking tech. You know what I'm saying? When you on some.
Hey, it is too fucking soon for that. Don't you start. I'm not gonna lie to you. When her and I watched that, she welled up and I welled up.
I so
cried.
mad.
Okay.
I was standing. So I was standing.
I really think he's dead. Tech ain't dead.
He's not.
No,
but
I still cried because of that moment where it clicks in Omega's head that Tech is gone, and like the fact that Wrecker, literally, out of all the people in the Bad Batch, when Plan 99 came out of Tech's mouth, I didn't think it was going to be Tech doing it. Like, when I hear about, like, when you read that plan, because I guess that plan has been initiated before, but it's the fact that I didn't expect Wrecker to do it, or the Tech to do it. I expected either Wrecker or Crosshair. I did not see Tech shooting that fucking straight of a shot to drop his ass to the abyss.
And then on top of that,
fan art.
CJ found this fan art. He was just randomly scrolling. He found this fan art, and he called me, and he's like, "This is bullshit. It's too early to fuck with my feelings." And I was like, "What is happening now?"
It's Wrecker carrying Tech
out of the rubble.
Out of the rubble, and he's just dead. And I was like, I am not okay. I have not been okay since I watched this, and this fan art is not helping me at all.
On May 10th, Disney, I'll get the words out. Disney put out their profit sharing thing, and it says October to December period of last year, they lost a total of $1.1 billion in streaming revenue. They climbed 12%, reflecting a sharp increase in revenue per paid Disney Plus subscribers, and metric investor watched closely. I mean, they regained it because $1.8 billion in operating income. It went down 35%, but it was still a revenue increase by 7%. But that's not good. And I think that's why a lot of this stuff is happening. And, and then just, the Writers Guild and all that stuff, it's just making it even more, all this stuff is happening at one time. But we got to also understand this is just not happening in Disney. You got to look at all the banks and stuff that are closing down. Chase has bought out 2 new banks last week, or 2 other banks last week, because of just everything that's going on. It's not just in Disney. It's happening everywhere. And it just shows a decrease in our overall economics in America. And as people, I'm one of the biggest opponents of freedom of speech and, social media and stuff like that. But at the same time, all the complaining and bitching and all the stuff that's going on, it's causing a major impact on the United States in general. And people, and this is just my point, but I think people need to stop listening to all the rhetoric and start listening to what they feel. If you like something, watch it, support it. If you care about something, stop getting caught up in all this conflict and you boycotting shit just because of what you heard online. Research it yourself. Find out the information yourself, because this is getting, like, every company is losing money. Stocks is down, banks is falling, collapsing. You got the freaking California is about to fall off in the ocean and shit. This shit is, our whole economy is going down. And I think that, and it's reflected in the things that we like Star Wars. It's being reflected. We got to get, there got to be something that we can do to fix the issues, and I think it's simple. It will be simple. Somebody just got to come up. I don't know what it's going to be, but somebody got to come up with the idea, because we're like this shit is not good. None of this shit is good.
DeSantis also, the state of Florida has also filed a motion to disqualify the judge from the Disney lawsuit. Their motion in full is defendants move to disqualify Chief Judge Mark E. Walker because the court's impartiality in this matter might reasonably be questioned. This case involves a claim that defendants retaliated against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts USA, Inc. based on Disney's viewpoints. Yet 2 previous times in 2 unrelated cases, the court sua sponte offered Disney as an example of state retaliation. Those remarks, each derived from extrajudicial sources, were on the record in open court and could reasonably imply that the court has prejudiced the retaliation question here. Because that question is now before this court, and because that question involves highly publicized matter and a great interest to Florida citizens, the court should disqualify itself to prevent the appearance of impropriety. U.S. Magistrate Judge Martin Fitzpatrick previously recused himself from the lawsuit because he is related in 3rd degree to someone employed by one of the parties and sought to avoid any potential conflict of interest. So what is happening is
Hold on. I want to address something first. His last name is Ewok. That is why they're doing this.
That is, so they've already disqualified one judge and had him recuse himself because either on the Disney side or on the state side, he is related to somebody who works for either one of them. Now they're trying to get this one disqualified because the last lawsuit was open. It's a matter of public record. So they're like, oh no, you're a judge. You might have a biased opinion because of this other lawsuit. Good luck finding a fucking judge then, Florida.
It'll go to the Supreme Court before
It will.
But what makes me laugh is that his it's not that he has personal ties. It's because his fucking last name literally is Ewok. I think that is literally why they're coming after him. Ewokery? Really? His last name says Ewok in it. I think that's where they're coming at him for, is the Ewok thing. I'm just saying.
Before anything gets passed, really, because you got to understand, it's state against one of the biggest corporations in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna, it's too big for a Supreme Court of a state. It's gonna go to the Supreme Court, the actual Supreme Court. It'll go to the top before they make any major decision. They'll keep just giving it the runaround. We'll be hearing about this 5 years from now, and then it'll go to Supreme Court. They'll make a judgment on it, whichever way it goes, is whether or not Disney stays in Florida or Disney leaves. That's basically what it'll all come down to. All right. Well, we've been talking about news this whole time because there's just a lot of news going on, especially with the Star Cruiser. Because everybody knew that they were just charging too much. Like, man, the normal family can't afford $5,000 a person for 2 days. That's just stupid. You know, that's just way too damn much money, man. Like, you have to be rich to go to that shit. And I got the money,
John,
and I
stop
wouldn't even
banging on
pay
the
to
door.
go to that shit. That's stupid. Like, I'm not paying that type of money. I'll go buy something. I'll buy a new car before I go spend $10,000 for me and my wife. What if I want to take my kid and fucking $20,000 or $50,000, depending on how many kids you got? That's just outrageous. I just don't get it. It's just way too much money for anybody to spend on a couple night vacation. Like, I can understand if you got to go to Star Cruiser, got to go to Walt Disney World, you know, got to do all the attractions for, you know what I'm saying, $5,000 for, you know, a weekend. But not, like, even when I gave away the trip for on Star Wars Audio Archives, it did not cost that. And that shit was for 4 nights. It was for, 4 days and 3 nights. And it wasn't that damn much. That shit is crazy. Like, that's just way too much for 2 nights at a freaking hotel you can't even leave. That's like, you want me to pay to go to a Star Wars prison? Like, that's not cool, man. And I'm just glad Bob said, all right, we're not making no money on this shit. Let's close this shit down. We're going to have to revamp this one. But I do agree with what CJ said. I think they will revamp it and bring it back out in the future. But I think they're going to make it more or less, it's going to be like you get to stay at the Galaxy Star Cruiser Hotel, and then you get to go to the park, and you're going to get to be able to do a lot of different things for the money.
I think that if Disney wants to do it, do a good hotel, whatever, that is Star Wars based, yes, you can do the Star Cruiser and do that experience, but do it better. But I personally, there's hotels that do like theme rooms. I think Disney would thrive if you did a Star Wars hotel, but you got to choose whether you stayed on Mustafar or you stayed in an Ewok village or on the Death Star. Like, I think that is something that people would be interested in doing, because you have people who don't want to just be on a very white, bland Star Cruiser. You want to be immersed in the world, so go choose your own world that you want to be on. Have every room be a different theme, essentially, of, like I said, a Mustafar room where it's red and you can see out your window, quote unquote, and they can do like they did with the Galactic Star Cruiser, where it's just a screen that plays, you know, lava and all of that fun stuff. But I think Disney should do that. Do a Star Wars hotel, but let the person immerse themselves and act like and feel like they are in this world. And even if you have like the room, like going out of the room, and they have to like step into like an itty bitty sub room to be like, yes, I am now getting whatever transported to the main area. That would be so much cooler than just, here's a white room with an orange bed.
Well, I think really, they have everything scheduled out for you so much. It's like
Yes.
being in jail. It's not like being on like a trip. Like, I got to go in, I got to eat at this time, I got to go to do this at this time, and I don't even get to go to the park. Like, I want to go to Disney World. Like, if I'm going all the way to Florida to stay at this hotel, I want to go see the park. I want
Right,
to
like,
go
why would
ride
I
the
pay you-
rides.
Why would I pay you thousands of dollars for you to tell me when I can eat and when I can go see the parks and ride rides? Like, I get it, it's an immersive experience where you can't just zoom down to the park because you're in space. But like, come on.
We're not really in space. We're adults that go there. We're adults. We know what's going on. We know we're on the ground. We know we're not in a actual spaceship. Let's go to the damn park. The kids want to go to the park. I want to go to the park. I don't want to go
My kids loved going to Disney. My kids have absolutely no interest being stuck inside a quote-unquote spaceship. That's not fun for them. My kids have a lot of energy, as much as many kids do. So this isn't a thing for children. This is a thing for adults, but you're not hitting the wants of the adults. In fact, many big influencers and YouTubers and podcasts and everything, Disney is paid to go in there and be like, hey, share your honest thoughts about it. And a lot of them are like, I don't think you want my honest thoughts. But they still paid for this trip for me, so I'm going to do it. They're going to get my honest thoughts. And that's why you do have a lot of negative impact, is because there's a few people like Kitra and so like not Always Believe, but Ordinary Adventures. They go on and they have fun because they're bubbly people. Kitra just loves all things Star Wars, so she kind of immerses herself in it. But they do critique a lot still. And you have other YouTubers, Dano, you have Always Believe, all of these happy people, but they're still saying that it's not right. That it's not there.
That's just crazy. So, I guess Andy Serkis dropped some major hints about Kino Loy's fate. This was actually a couple weeks ago, but I just seen it, so I thought I'd bring it up. I don't think we've talked about it yet. I'm guessing, sadly, due to his character inability to sing, he seemingly didn't make it to Narkin 5. And let's see. While assumed he was dead, Lucasfilm surprised everyone when they announced that Serkis would be returning as Loy at some point in the show. So, I guess he's coming back. Maybe he's a snitch and he's told on everybody where they was going or some shit. We don't know.
So, Lucasfilm forced Star Wars Rebels actor to return against their wishes, talking about Freddie Prinze Jr., who voices Kanan.
Yeah. He did the voice at the end.
Yeah, he was forced to return after rounding out his time in Star Wars Rebels, even though he didn't think it was right for his character. He has come back, a few times, whatever. But, But he was speaking in a recent interview on the Big Thing podcast. He revealed that he was forced to return to Star Wars after the Rebels cancellation. When asked about returning to voice a younger version of his Rebels characters, Kanan, in season 1 of The Bad Batch, Prince Jr. told the host that he didn't necessarily want to. He felt it really dilutes his impact every time he comes back. And that's true. Like, you get a character that everybody loves, you kill them off, and then leave them with that and say, oh, I loved this character, but, I really wish they brought him back. We've seen it happen over and over again, not just with Star Wars, but with other shows and other, series and all of that, where they bring a character back because the fans love them. And they're like, I know exactly what they want, but then they destroy the integrity of that character. And every time they bring him back, it just kind of pulls it out a little bit more.
Yep, it definitely does. All right.
Just let Kanan die in peace.
So since we've been talking about news this whole time, where's CJ at? Is he coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back. He could not hold it in anymore.
Yeah, shit.
He's like, I tried. As he was running, he's like, I tried, I can't do it anymore. I tried.
You went to boo boo.
Sorry, couldn't hold it.
Boo boo boy. All right.
Yeah, move your stuff.
We've been, she didn't tell on you already knew what was going on. You had that I got a shit look on your face.
I couldn't help it. Couldn't hold it.
Let's go ahead and jump on to the quiz. Since we've been talking about news this whole time, 'cause that's basically what this episode was.
No, do you have any toys?
No, nothing new.
Okay.
Sadly.
I didn't see nothing new on there. I was on what's his face's
Yak Face.
Face.
Yeah.
I love Yak
And
Face.
I didn't
That's
see
my
him. And then
boy.
I checked some of the other stuff.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there's a couple things, but we kind of already knew that they was coming out because they already announced it. So for them to release it, it's like, okay, it was released.
Yeah. Outside of all of the new Ewok merch and the 40th anniversary stuff that's coming out, which
Hey,
is
shit.
not
I was looking
park
on-
exclusive. You can actually go to Shop Disney and you
I
can
was
get.
looking at StarWars.com. Why they got fucking hats that are like $80 for a fucking baseball cap? Like, Jesus Christ, man, I could buy that same shit on like eBay or Amazon for like $20.
He'll pull up a shirt and he'll be like, oh, I really want this shirt. And then I'll look at the price and I'll be like, yo, we can go to Hobby Lobby and I can get a shirt and I can make that shirt.
Not the point.
For like $20 opposed to like 80 or $120.
Dude, I'm telling you, the price of merch has just went up the price of everything just went up so much. It just fucking, I hate
Inflation.
Welcome
inflation.
to inflation and a recession.
All right, well, let's get to the impossible quiz. Let's do it,
Hit
because I
the
got some
button.
good questions this time.
Stop right there, you rebel scum. Prepare yourself for the Star Wars Impossible quiz. Blast them.
Blast them.
I'm going to say this now before you start this. That is my catchphrase. I'll say it on live. I'll say it every day you say it. That is my catchphrase. I coined that, and Kyle was there when I did it.
I know.
He did.
That's my catchphrase.
is.
That was before you and I got together when I screamed it.
I
And
know.
everybody kept telling me to repeat it. So, hit the button! You already did, but I had to say it, and you got to say it the right way. Can't be like, hit the button.
All right, I'm
I
not
love you. I
prepared.
adore you. But my catchphrase. Come up with your own.
I do.
No, they're mine. You take mine. Get to the quiz.
All right, let's see here where we at. Got to get to the quiz. I don't know why
My
this thing just
catchphrase.
jumped all the way to the top. Okay. I tried to do this one a little bit different, make it a little bit better, have a little bit more fun with it. So, is everybody ready?
As I'll ever
Everybody
be.
ready? Okay. On what planet was a final battle between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire fought on?
Endor. No, Jakku. It's the
No,
Battle of
yeah.
Jakku.
Okay, so are we taking into, like, are we going off of the originals or are we including the sequels?
Well, that wasn't the Galactic Empire. That was the First
Fair.
Order.
The Battle of Jakku was the last Empire battle between the Rebellion and the Empire before the Rebellion came into the New the New Republic.
Because isn't that how the Falcon ended up on Jakku?
No, that is where Ben was created. Was over the space of Jakku.
Okay, the actual answer is none. Because Endor, it was actually Endor was the last planet that was fought
Sounds
between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire. But Endor is not a planet. It is a moon. The moon of Endor.
No, copy.
I said Endor. I win.
You get half a point.
I'll take a half a point.
Okay,
A 0.5.
question number 2. Endor is a moon of what gas giant in the mid-rim?
A planet.
The moth.
Oh, it's a gas giant. Well, I
A
guess it
sun?
could be a planet. Because
A
ain't
star?
Jupiter a gas giant?
Why? No, Google.
I'm asking if Jupiter is a gas planet.
It's made up of gas. I'm pretty sure Jupiter's made up of gas, and it's a pretty big-ass planet.
It is. It's a gas giant planet.
Yeah, that's
The
what I
atmosphere is made up of mostly hydrogen, helium, or hydrogen gas and helium, like the sun.
thought. All right. Well, I'm just
I
going
have
to give
no
y'all the
idea.
answer on this one. It's gas ganos.
That sounds like an STD.
Okay. Why
Sounds
is
like
the
I need
number
to wait a minute.
1138 significant in Star Wars?
11:38.
1138?
That's the time George Lucas was born.
It was kind of close, but, I mean, it has something to do with George Lucas, but it's not that.
That's the time George Lucas finished writing the first movie.
Nope.
So much money he got off his first script.
Nope.
That was the time he thought of the idea of Star Wars?
Nope. Come on. I'm giving everybody in the chat some time to figure this out. Somebody should know this. 1138 is
You can find it at
significant
the
in Star
Disney
Wars
parks.
for what reason?
That was the time that the sale of Disney happened?
Nope.
Or sale of George Lucas?
All
or
right.
Lucasfilms?
Did nobody come out with it? Where's Chris at? Usually Chris will get these.
true.
1138 is an Easter egg referring to George Lucas's first film, THX 1138.
Oh.
Okay. How many acolytes sat on the Jedi Council during the High Republic?
5. Yeah? No? You went silent, so I was like, did I get it? Was that annoying? I'm sorry. 3?
Nope.
10?
Nope.
Was I close?
Nope.
0. Because acolytes are Sith.
Yep. Zero.
I,
Sith followers are not permitted on
I
the
didn't
Jedi
even-
Council.
I didn't even think
The
of
second
that. You said Jedi Council, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining the...
I literally reread the question in my head, and I was like, 0. It's the Jedi fucking Council. Acolytes are Sith, Charlie James. 0.
Okay. What Jedis were able to defeat Darth Vader in lightsaber combat?
Luke Skywalker.
Obi-Wan.
Cal Kestis. He technically escaped, so he won.
There's only one.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi was on it because at the point that Luke Skywalker, Yoda told Luke Skywalker he would not become a Jedi until he defeated his father. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is
Sounds
the
like an
only
absolute.
Jedi to ever beat Darth Vader in lightsaber combat. Okay, in The Empire Strikes Back, what is the exact number of bounty hunters assembled by Darth Vader?
6.
Okay, who were they?
Dengar, Bosk, Boba Fett, Zuckuss,
There wasn't there an
IG-11, or IG-88. So you got Zuckuss, Boba Fett, Bosk, IG-88. I said Dengar, didn't I?
Yes.
Zuckuss, and, oh, God. Oh, no. No! It's like my favorite scene. No. I have a toy up there. I had to think about it. I can't think of the last one.
Wasn't it also the dude that Lando, I can't
No,
remember his name, but the
because-
dude that Lando was like dressed up as,
No.
kind of? Oh.
You got Dengar, who turned into Uncarplot. IG-88. That was confirmed. That was confirmed. That's a shitty way to relive your life, though. You go from one of the top bounty hunters, and then you're a junk trader. That's a shitty turn.
All right,
of
you were
events.
right. There was 6. It's Boba Fett, Dungar, IG-88, Boss, Forlom, and...
Forlom! Damn it!
Zuckuss.
Forlom, because he popped up in Mandalorian.
And I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think of all of them. Because every time we go to GameStop, I always look at the Bounty Hunter collection that they have. They have that series right now.
Okay, where did Darth Bane get the idea for the Rule of 2?
Where did he get the Rule of 2 idea? I can tell you why he created it. I can't tell you where he got it. Other than I think he got it from Revan, right?
Yep, he got it from Revan's Holocron.
Fuck yeah! And you're supposed to
Revan.
like Sith.
Listen, I just read about it, and so I was trying to remember.
Revan basically told him that the battery theory, and there should only be one Sith, and Darth Bane was like, well, what if I die? Then there's nobody to take over, so there has to be 2. Okay, what happened to Yoda's species, and why is it shrouded in mystery?
Nobody knows.
George Lucas created it, so there is no answer for it.
Yep, no one knows the answer.
Woohoo, I'm
Okay,
winning.
Nakata del Gormo was said to be Yoda's master. So who was his master?
Revan.
No.
I don't know that far back.
Okay, it's unknown, as there is no confirmation that Del Gormo even existed. Yoda never confirms that that was his master or that he even knew that guy.
I don't know that guy.
Yoda never discusses who his master was in any canon writings anyway. What were the name of the 3 factions of the Wheels?
The Wills.
Wills of the Force, right?
Yep.
The father, the son, and the daughter?
No.
The Light, the Dark, the Gray.
No.
Stephen, George, and Fred.
No. The dog who died on the stick. No. Okay. Y'all are never going to get this one. You have the journalist of the Wheels who document and record important events in the galaxy. You have the ancient order of the Wheels, who were the shamans among them. One of them who taught Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn the ability to retain one's consciousness after death. And then you have the guardians of the Wheels. They were the protector of the Temple of Kyber on the moon of Jedha. That's the 3 factions of the Wheels.
I did not know that the masked people who were talking to you.
Hey, I just found that shit out today. I just said, I really just asked the question on Google. I was like, who the hell are the Wheels? And it came up, there's 3 factions of the Wheels, and that's the 3 factions, and that's what they did. But literally, I was kind of surprised that one of them is the one who taught Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn the ability to retain consciousness after death. I thought it was just something that he just kind of figured out, you know what I'm saying? Because they never really explained that shit.
I mean,
But
they did.
I guess it was one of the ancient order of the Wheel shamans that taught him that shit.
I mean, they did kind of explain it when Qui-Gon was talking to Yoda in that small little Yoda arc in Clone Wars when Yoda goes on to do all of his tests and everything. Qui-Gon did say that he was taught.
Oh, I got recent news. I hate to do this.
That's all right.
Natalie Portman stated she's open to coming back to Star Wars.
She said that shit like a bunch of times already, though.
She did, but
Like,
it's
how
always
is she
nice
gonna
to
come
hear.
back? She's dead. Like, where is she gonna come back as a Force ghost? She
We
ain't
can
a
do
Jedi.
flashbacks.
Like, they could do a flashback, I guess. But then they would have to do it in the Kenobi series, and that means there would be a second part to the Kenobi series, which would be I'm all right for if they do it better than the first one. Like, I'm not completely against Kenobi. I'm completely against Book of Boba Fett. They just leave that shit alone. Just fucking y'all fuck Boba Fett up. But Obi-Wan
Fix
Kenobi,
it or don't touch it.
like, I think they could come back and do Obi-Wan Kenobi, or they could do a second season Obi-Wan Kenobi and just do it better.
They have to. They
If
left
they did it better, if they made it like super fucking just awesome, then I think it would cancel out how bad the first one was. And if they explain like why Leia can't retain her memory, or like she got brainwashed, or memory wiped, or some shit like that, something happens so she don't remember Obi-Wan, and explain all that shit, I'm down for that.
Well,
but don't bring it back if you're just gonna come back and make it like shit, and then this is just gonna make the first one even worse. Like, no, don't do it.
Well, like they left it with Qui-Gon following, or not Qui-Gon, with Obi-Wan on Rue. Just following Force Ghost Qui-Gon into the middle of a desert and saying, well, it took you long enough. Like, dude, you can't, you gotta, no.
You ain't gotta do anything. It's Disney. They can say, fuck it, we ain't doing that shit. We didn't make enough money. But, you know what I'm saying? I would I'm either way, I'm fine. If they left it there and just, you know what I'm saying, he figured it out and it just ends there, or they come out. But if they come out with something else, they got to make it better. Because you got to redeem that first shit. Because that first shit, like, it just, you fucked up the whole timeline and
better.
The fucking shakiness of the camera and all that fucking weird shit they had going on. It just, I don't know.
And
what
the like 4 episodes that weren't about Obi-Wan, they were about Reva.
Because I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind seeing what Reva does now. You know what I'm saying? Now that fucking does she go like help train Jedi and help Jedi escape? She can't go back because Vader thinks she's dead. But I don't see. That's the thing that gets me. That was another thing that bothered me about Kenobi. Vader knows whether or not she's dead. He could feel her in the Force. Especially because they've been around each other for this amount of time. He knew the whole time. He states it that he knew the whole time that she was going to turn on him. And so it's like, he know that he didn't kill her. So what was the purpose of him not killing her? Like, he could have just cut her in half. He just stabbed her in the stomach. He knew she was still alive. She was going to survive. Like, did he do it because she knew that she was going to go after Kenobi, or go after what Kenobi was protecting? You know, like, why? Like, there's just too many unanswered questions.
And I will forever state that being stabbed by a lightsaber does not necessarily mean death, because you die by getting stabbed by bleeding out or hitting a major organ like your heart. You do not, or your lungs.
Stab her through the stomach, it cauterizes the fucking wound.
Exactly. All of these people are dying because they're getting stabbed in like the arm or the leg or the stomach, and it's like, dude, it cauterizes. They're still gonna live. But no, Star Wars logic says that they die. Apparently physics and
it just
and
matters.
logic
Like, if you
does
stab
not
somebody
work.
through the heart with a lightsaber, they're gonna die.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you just stab them in the stomach, like, if he really wanted her dead, he'd have cut her ass in half or cut her head off or something, you know?
Right. Like, you stab someone in the stomach and they're like, okay, cool. Now that person has a smaller stomach. You just gave them a gastric sleeve without even meaning to.
You know, So, but I don't know. I'm Kenobi, either way. You know what I'm saying? Book of Boba Fett, yeah, you can just leave that shit alone. Y'all ruined Boba Fett for me forever. You know what I'm saying? I can't never look at Boba Fett as the badass fucking bounty hunter that I used to. Like, this dude is kill everybody. Boba Fett is the shit now. It's like, oh, man, you're gonna bake some cookies.
Grandma Boba Fett with the chocolate chips.
They could come out with a Boba Fett cooking show.
I bet he uses a lot of butter.
What do they got? Crate Dragon by Boba Fett. But I do hope that they do bring back I want to see a live action Rex, or my brain went blank. We'll just say Rex or Cody. I would like to see it.
They were talking, the plan was to bring Cody back in Obi-Wan. And then Disney came out and was like, yeah, we decided against that. And all of the fans were like, wait, what?
Well, they only
That
showed
was an
that picture.
option?
We don't know who that fucked up looking clone that was sitting on the ground was. Like, was that
wasn't Cody.
But if it was
Because
Cody
Disney
or Rex,
already said it.
they would have recognized Obi-Wan. So it had to be some other clone that didn't really know who Obi-Wan was.
Well, it
Or
wasn't
could've been-
Cody.
It
Disney
could have
already
been,
said
and
it.
they just didn't say anything. He's in blue armor, so he could have been Rex. So, you know what I'm saying? And he just didn't say anything because he knew where he was, and he was kind of
Or he lost.
That would be cool to even be in the second season of Kenobi.
Yeah.
Because he gets into some shit, or Rex hits him up and says, "Hey, I need some help," and he was like, they seen each other on the planet, and he did a flashback or whatever they do. Yeah, I mean, they could do something out of that. I don't know. I just want to see. I want to see clones in live action. I really do. We seen stormtroopers. I want to see some clones in live action. I think that would be cool, but we'll have to see.
Kyle, are you sure you're you and not CJ today?
What?
I want to see
I just
clones
wanna
in live
see-
action. I
listen.
really want to see clones. Clones. Jesus.
I love clones.
I've really been sitting back. I've been doing some soul searching and just thinking of some different shit. Like if I was in a position that I could be, go and work for Disney and be a writer or be some shit that I would come up with. And I was like, dude, like to have like a clone series, a live action clone series. I think that would be dope.
It would.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be something different. Like cause
all I can see is just a lone Tem running back and forth on and off camera, changing outfits every 5 seconds.
all they'd have to do is because basically as long as they have their helmets on. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You just get a bunch of people around the same
mental
height.
image. Why you gotta ruin it, Kyle? Damn.
I just don't. I don't know about because Tim Tim has kind of got he's kind of bigger now, so it might they'd have to put him through like a rigorous workout to get him to fit in the clone armor. If not, we're gonna have a fat clone.
No, you just have expanders on the sides of the suits.
He was kind of a little bit big to be Boba Fett. He didn't look like original Boba Fett. he was a little bit hefty. He was the hefty Boba Fett.
Hey, there's Daddy Wan Kenobi and there's Daddy Fett. It's fine. Dad bods are in style. We got Dad bod Thor. We're good.
Cause like when they first show him, like when they're putting on the sand people fucking robe and stuff, and they show him, I'm like, damn man, he could have lost a little bit of weight there. Tim. But I don't know. I don't know. I just hope that they figure something out. And I'm talking about with everything, just because the shit is going downhill fast, and I think a lot of people don't realize how fast it's going downhill. It's like a lot of shit. DC is all fucked up now, and Disney is all fucked up, and like all the shit that I love to watch,
Marvel.
it's starting to be really going to shit. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And they don't want to pay no writers. Maybe that's the reason they came out with crappy episodes, because they just wrote that shit intentionally. Because like, you're gonna pay me more, I'm gonna write crappy shit. How about that? And then they were like, oh, this is good. And then they were like, why does everybody hate it? Because it was crappy shit. He wrote crappy shit intentionally. You just are stupid. I don't know.
Well, maybe if you paid me more, I wouldn't write crappy shit.
Because I know there got to be, and I'm not saying it's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of this shit, even Book of Boba Fett just ain't completely terrible. It was still fun. It just made Boba Fett out to be somebody that Boba Fett's not, and that's what I didn't like.
It was just something that we had been looking forward to for a very long time. So a whole bunch of people had many different ideas and hopes and dreams, and that's why it failed.
And that's the only thing that I'm excited about with Ahsoka, just because I know that Dave wrote all of Ahsoka, and Dave loves Ahsoka.
It's his baby.
So I know Ahsoka's gonna be good. I hope they just don't overdo it on the CGI and all that stuff, and try to make it. I just hope that Dave wrote a good, fluent story, and it got just enough of the CGI and action and everything in there to make it really entertaining and just the overall great show. I think I am so hopeful. That
I also
and
just
I think it
love
is
watching him talk about it. I love watching Dave
he gets
talk
so
about
emotional.
Ahsoka.
He gets so
does.
fucking just excited about it.
And you don't see Dave as he is an extremely introverted person.
He is the next George Lucas. I'm going to interrupt. He literally is George Lucas.
Like, he's so introverted. He
George
doesn't like talking.
You don't see George smile unless it's somebody's cracking jokes, because Dave Filoni even stated in an interview, George has a sick sense of humor, and it takes a mean comment or a mean joke or a messed up joke to get George to laugh really hard.
I think George and I could be friends.
And Dave's like, I have to admit, I'm the exact same way. And I don't show emotions. Like he said on Celebration, I don't really show emotions. But being so proud of my product and seeing everybody love my work.
Everybody knows that the movie's named Here to the Empire, right?
Yes, and I'm so excited.
There was even some things that they're talking about Mara Jade, Luke being in it. Like
He could restart it all and fix
Like-
the fuck up.
And
Man.
at that point, when Mara Jade walks on screen, or the name Mara Jade,
George,
you know
George is gonna be calling Dave. What
think-
the fuck,
He's like,
George?
you're not
he's
in
gonna
my
do it.
family anymore. I disown you.
Delete
I
my
don't
number.
think he's gonna do it, but it is one of the rumors that's floating around. I don't think that he'll do it. I don't think he'll ever go against George. They're too good of friends. I mean, shit, he still calls George all the time to ask him for advice. You know, when you got that type of relationship with George, you don't go against George. Even if George be like, I don't give a
would.
shit what you do. You
Mara
just
Jade's
don't go
loved.
against him. You don't. You just. Don't
I'd
do
go
it.
against George to bring Mara Jade. She was so loved. You know how much money I would make off that?
Yeah,
But
it
that's-
would be a good. It would be a good.
It's a good money maker. Just like Revan's a good money maker.
That's another thing. I'm just getting like it's so hard because you like literally you read a fucking damn thing on news now. You got to go research that shit for 30 minutes to find out because like I seen like 9 posts about Disney selling. I said, what the fuck Disney selling Star Wars? I had to go research it. And I had to call people. I had to ask questions and like man, what? Like I know you ain't supposed to tell nobody, but give me the scoop. Nah, they're not selling. Okay.
Tell me, but you didn't tell me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not, I wouldn't be too mad. It depends on who they sold it to. They could sell it to somebody that just fucks Star Wars all up. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying?
Well-
Like, Disney's already done a good enough job of making Star Wars a little bit. Not as
Secret
good
buyer
as it used to
Lucas
be.
George buys Disney.
Well, that's,
That
well,
shit
that's
was- if
like
fucking George Lucas bought back Disney. Dude,
he said that he would be willing to take it back. He just, you know, it would immensely raise the stocks. And if Disney were to somehow make an amazing deal with George where it was like, hey,
well, shit, you got to think
we
about it.
can
George
still-
is
we
making
can
money off of. He don't even have to do shit, and he's making money
doesn't.
off of it. He don't have to do nothing. He's making money off of fucking Star Wars.
but where
That's
I was,
the greatest deal ever.
if Disney came to George and was like, "Hey, I'm still going to be like the face," as in like the Lucasfilm
wouldn't
is
do it.
still under Disney, but you know whatever, they would have to give George the best of the best deal. George would have to make out like a bandit in order for them to keep
George wouldn't do it.
because you bring George back in, shares are going to skyrocket again because you have the maker again. And you're gonna get better quality stuff coming out.
The
George
first thing
wouldn't,
George would say is,
but
"We got to remake
You're all
the
fired."
sequel."
yeah,
We gotta
You're
remake
all
the sequel.
fired.
the first thing
That
that,
would be the
George
first thing
Lucas
he
would
would
do,
say.
yes,
We're
is
gonna
we're
remake
doing-
the sequel.
he's like, we're
And-
doing the sequels the way that I had already, like, I gave you the scripts, I wrote the movies, I gave you the scripts, I gave you everything, and you fucking threw it in the trash, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix your fuck up.
And then he's literally going to walk into a room. You're all fired. Dave, stay there.
Where's Freddie Prince? Where's Freddie Prince?
I don't think he'd fire John.
Oh, no,
John's still
no.
a good director. John just, I
John
think,
Dave, don't move.
yeah, I don't think he would fire John. I wouldn't fire John. John is still,
You two,
what John has done
either
with the
one of you
Mandalorian
even,
all the way up till this season has been phenomenal. So I wouldn't get John's
That's-
overall direction and like getting the right people in to do the right stuff. It's just this last season of Mandalorian
stuck.
didn't do. But I think a lot of it has to do with expectations too. We gotta stop thinking that every fucking thing is gonna be better than the last thing. It's like that's impossible. You can't make everything perfect. Everything can't be fucking great. You look at any franchise, look at The Matrix, look at Transformers. Like, not every movie was good. Like, you had,
Underworld.
you know what I'm saying? That's just
Resident
impossible.
Evil.
Aliens. Every franchise, you look at it,
Blade.
not every fucking thing is great. Some
Wesley
things are
Snipes
just
was a
not as good
gem.
as other things. And I think as Star Wars fans, that's one of the things that we automatically, this is going to be better than the last one, and then it's not. And you're like, what the fuck? This is crap. And it's
We
not so
as-
much that it's crap. It's
We
just-
hold you a higher standard, Disney.
We as Star Wars fans need to bring Star Wars down
We
a
gotta-
pedestal so that we're more excited.
Yeah, but and I think that's one of the biggest things is that causes us to have a lot of conflict within the fandom because everybody's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. And then you got a bunch of other people like, this is crap. What are you talking about? The last season was way better. Instead of just saying it's okay to not like everything. You know, it's okay to not like everything. It's okay to say this is better than this. It's okay to do that. Everything is not going to be a fucking 10. It's impossible.
Discussion. Everybody has different opinion, and everybody has a right to their
But
opinion.
that's why we have a Star Wars podcast, because if we didn't have things like that to talk about, we wouldn't have no podcast. Wouldn't nobody have shit to talk about. But that's, you know, that's the, I mean, the last season of Mandalorian wasn't the best. You know, it wasn't as good as the first two, but it was still good. It was still Star Wars.
Let's be real here. The book, or Mandalorian season 3 was the book of Bo-Katan. Let's be honest here.
It was, I think it was better than the Book of Boba Fett, but our overall rating was a 6.5, and I believe that's about where it was at.
Nice.
I wish we would have started the podcast before, so we could have really rated Mandalorian season 1 and season 2, because season 1 was freaking awesome. I don't care what nobody says. Like, to get the Mandalorian, to get some new Star Wars content that's never been done before, it just made it amazing. It was awesome. And in season 2, it was still good because they hit us with a lot of new characters, you know, a lot of new things going on, brought back some of the old characters, gave us some of the nostalgia. It was freaking good. And then this season it just fell short. But it's all right, because next season is going to be awesome again. I hope. I'm very hopeful. But, you know what I'm saying? Everything's not going to be the fucking 10. It's impossible. Just like every Star Wars movie. Even George's movies, there's a reason we can rate each one of the movies by which ones we like the best and which ones we like the worst, because they're not all created equal. Some of them is not as good as the other one. Me, personally, I think Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back is the 2 best movies of the first 2 trilogies. And that's the other ones, that it's not that they're not good, they're just not as good as them ones. So it's just, that's just life. Everything's not going to be a 10. Everything's not going to be the best shit ever made. If it was, then fucking it would suck, because we'd just be over it much. Like, I don't even like this because it's too goddamn good. I don't have nothing to bitch about. You know?
However, even though Kyle and I just made the statement of how we need to kind of like lower our expectations a little bit, I expect greatness from Ahsoka. Greatness. I expect nothing but amazingness.
I think it's going to be
just excellent.
I think it's going to be the top tier show, and I think they're going to kill it. I'm sorry, Dave, literally, his reaction from not last year's celebration, but the year before, his saying, I cried. Motherfucker, I better be in tears the first episode, and
well, you know, we
I
all
better
could have
be...
took that the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we did not take that the wrong way. Dave wouldn't admit that he cried because it was shit.
So bad, and he was like, "Oh, I fucked it up so bad."
If Dave cried because it was so bad, 100% Dave would be like, "Fuck all of you, we're doing this again."
I think so too. I have high expectations. For Ahsoka, I don't really have that big of expectations for Skeleton Crew. But I could I literally thought that fucking Visions 2 was gonna suck, and Visions season 2 was fucking good. I thought it was fucking great.
Skeleton Crew, all we really have to go off of is the actors and their comments, and all of them are new to Star Wars, and all of them have self-admittedly are so excited to be in a Star Wars project, so excited to be part of the Star Wars universe. So it could just be they're talking about how amazing it is. Just because they're excited about being in Star Wars. It could be an absolute shit show, but they're just excited and they're like, this is the greatest thing ever, and because
he's a pirate.
Did I do that?
And he's a pirate. I don't know.
I need Urkel to be Urkel, suspenders and everything as a pirate. I need that. I don't know why I need that in my life, but I need it in my life.
So dumb.
And he like steals something from somebody, and as he's running away, you know, you got weird pirates like Jack Sparrow, and I got a jar of dirt. I need Urkel to steal something, run away, and go, oops, did I do that? And then run away. I need that in my life.
Or even just an Urkel quote. Just a subtle quote from his past, acting would be a beautiful thing.
I don't know. I don't have a feeling it's going to be that good, but I do have high hopes that it's good. And then But I think it's going to be more of, honestly, I think Skeleton Crew is going to be more of like Stranger Things. It's going to be like a little action, but it's really going to be like one of those things about overcoming obstacles, and it's going to be more of a fun and exciting type of show. And then the Acolyte, just seeing the clips that they have on Acolyte looks like it's going to be just like a fucking Game of Thrones type of fucking evil, fucked up, dark, crazy fucking thing, and I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a more adult content, more raw and gritty, and I'm excited for the Acolyte. We'll have to see, because it might be crap, and then I'll be mad as shit. Star Wars team leader, you kind of like been in and out the whole episode. J Dog, what's up? I'm sorry we didn't give you a holler out. Clint showed up for us. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, guys.
I'm mega excited. That's Tyler.
Earlier.
Fuck you, Tyler. You joined the Air Force and moved away. Fuck you, Tyler.
But
Jesus.
Yeah. I think we got some good things coming. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I just hope they get this writer stuff taken care of and get these writers paid the way that they should be paid, so that way we can get some new great content. Because as long as they keep coming out with Star Wars content, we're going to keep staying here talking about it. I know we kind of dropped the ball on Wednesday, but we're probably going to be taking some Wednesdays off. I got a bunch of projects that I'm trying to get done right now, and then I know Tori and CJ got some stuff going on. CJ just started a new job. Everybody congratulate CJ on his new job.
I'm going to make stupid money now.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Hopefully.
good. I'm proud of you.
A lot better than what I'm making.
And we just,
going back to school.
We got some
so
projects coming out, because we got a couple more podcasts. I'm trying to get started by this summer. And then I'm shooting some short films. I got some people together to shoot some of my short films, so that's going to be coming pretty soon.
Well, thanks for the invite.
What? Dude, you're fucking. Hey, CJ, you want to fly out here and be my cameraman?
I want to be an actor.
Well, it's like.
Hold up a second. You asked CJ to be the cameraman and not the photographer?
Well,
now you can take photos of set.
I don't need a photographer. I need somebody to know what the fuck they're doing, so they can fucking do random shit that makes it look good.
That's part of photography, is doing random shit that you don't think will work. I cannot tell you the amount of times
that don't know shit. That way
CJ has walked up to me as I'm in this weird position with my camera and like shit propped weird in front of the person I'm taking a picture, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I need you to trust it. It'll look amazing." And then I'll pull it up on my computer after I'm done, and he's like, "Oh my god."
I just spent a shit ton of money on some anamorphic lenses too. Like, goddamn, anamorphic lenses are fucking expensive. Like, why does this fucking shit cost so damn much? Like, holy fuck, like, this
Because
shit
it's
fucking
good.
lens costs more than a damn camera. Like, Jesus. Like, I do not get that shit for nothing. But
Yeah, I actually sent CJ I sent him a few things, and I was like, "Hey, I need these for my cameras," and he's like, "I didn't pay that much for your fucking camera."
fucking
Yeah,
glass
well.
is so expensive. Like, Jesus, man, that shit is fucking a grip. But I think I got the people together that's gonna, I got some cool shit coming. So definitely got some projects happening. Like I said, the Spotify is all corrected. I don't know if we're gonna do a Wednesday show. I just want to give everybody the heads up right now. We'll talk about it. If anything, we might just come on for a little bit and just talk about some news and shit like that. I know we got to get back to Rebels at some point and finish with the Rebels stuff. And then I was thinking maybe down the road in between some seasons, we'll go back and revisit Mandalorian season 1 and season 2, just because we never got a chance to do it because we started the podcast after they both came out. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do. But we got to discuss all that next Sunday. We have the watch party for Rogue One. No, it's for Solo, right?
Solo.
Yeah, Solo. Yeah, we're watching Solo is the next Sunday. So we'll definitely have some coming out on Saturday. I mean, of course, on Saturday we'll have a show, and then Sunday we'll have the watch party.
Also, CJ and I are stuck kind of between two ideas. Well, technically 3, but the third one is a mixture of the first 2. So we would like to hear from people who listen to see if they would like, so as it's been announced, there is going to be another podcast under the Swaycast network. It's going to be CJ and I married with Star Wars, etc., etc. So, would you guys like to watch, listen to, whatever, more of a video type thing where, what are they called?
Like
ones
a
like
vlog.
Ashley. Yeah, a video vlog, a vlog, or would you like it more of like Bunny and, what's the other one that had, Always Believe on it? Rexing around, where they sit down and they bring people in and they sit down with them. Or would you like a mixture of the two? So make sure to let us know.
Yeah, put it in the comments, the video comments, so we can know, or hit us up on Instagram. That's the two best places to get in contact with us.
Because we would like to give you something that you guys would want to listen to. Also fun for us. Those are the kind of 3 ideas we got.
I thought we were just gonna make videos of you running around chasing CJ with a lightsaber, hitting him up. Like,
Okay, listen, that's a daily occurrence here.
like, goddamn it, quit buying Star Wars shit. Bah, fucker, you're spending all of our damn money. Bah.
We're broke because of this action figure, you fuck!
No, see,
We ran out of gas on the side of the freeway because of this!
no, straight up, CJ would much rather have lightsaber battles with the kids than me, because I was a very lonesome child, and so I had nothing better to do than to be in my backyard and doing flips with my lightsabers. So I actually know how to fight with lightsabers, and CJ does not.
Go
so
take fencing lessons, CJ. You could be the
I kick his
the
ass.
Dooku.
So he would
The
much
Dooku in
rather.
fencing.
He would much rather battle the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old because he could win.
She's mean. She goes for the hands.
I do not. You just happen to move your hand there.
She goes for the hands.
Shit, at least she hit you in the hand. My wife hits me in the face. Bah! Oh, son of a bitch. God damn, what the fuck? And then beats my dogs. Oh, and I also got that coming out. I'm actually shooting a short film here pretty soon about dogs, and I might be coming out with a podcast about training dogs.
And the whole video is just his puppy snoring in the background while he's trying to talk.
Nah.
I'm just letting you know.
It's a hell of a training video. How to get your dog to be bored of you. Episode 1, just talk on a podcast. Episode 2, listen to said podcast.
Episode 3, dog just snores.
Episode 4, cute photos with puppy.
Episode 5, the snoring styles of.
My God.
All right, but I think that's all we got for today. We'll keep you guys informed. Stay tuned to the Instagram. That's where a lot of the information comes out about what we're doing. So definitely do that, and we will see you guys on Wednesday or Saturday. We'll discuss Wednesday. If we're coming out on Wednesday, we'll let you know. I don't know yet. We have to see.
Keep
Got a
your
lot of shit
eyes
going on.
peeled
So,
for information.
all right, so we'll see you guys then,
Make good
Peace.
choices.
and may the force
Damn it, Garrison wasn't here to take that from you.
be with you. Okay.
You.
The reason I was talking like that is because I'm trying to get to the damn thing, to the screen, so I can hit the button.
Hit the button then, I don't know.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.